Every man has his techniques, and they're all different. And when you know mine, you'll be dead.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back yet again. This is season 4, episode 3. Mitch, am I right?
I think so.
Again, welcome back, everybody. Co-host here, Mitch Hartman. Mitch, how are you doing today?
Good, man. Had a busy week. Things are good. We went to Tim McCheel's memorial thing at Anvan over the weekend. That was really cool. Like, saw so many people I haven't seen in years, and like, sick to get together and like hang out and kind of talk about how cool Tim was. Like, we talked about this before that, but like that abstract part, like, dude, he was so sick and definitely ahead of his time.
Yeah, he was. Because I remember, I never met him, like hung out with him or anything. But I remember seeing him at the banks, and it's funny when you just told me he was like around your age, right? You said he was just
Yeah, he's like a
a little
week
younger.
older than me,
Yeah,
so he's like
so
44.
crazy
About
because I remember he was
5.
tiny. I thought he was like 10 years younger than me, when I was like
Yeah.
16. So I remember him going to the banks, and it was him and Andre Page, and there was some other dude with them. They would go, and they rode for some company called Green, but I don't think they ever made boards, or they were gonna make boards or something. And but they would go to the banks. They were like just better than everybody. I
Yeah,
remember
Tim
that.
always on that Nolly shit, like was way ahead of it.
Yeah, so good. That abstract part, if anybody, can find that video, it's on YouTube, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the whole video is on YouTube. I think Vern
Yeah,
uploaded it years ago.
so good. His part was like light years ahead. New Deal part,
Yeah, I was gonna say he
right?
had
That
a
was like,
7-year glitch. Yeah, he's got like a little section in there.
yeah, one of the best parts in the video.
Yeah, it's cool. They made these cool ass stickers with Tim's face. It's so sick. But yeah, so what are we talking about tonight?
Well, so I figured since I'm this huge skateboard collector now, that
In the last month.
yeah, in like the last like 4 days. But I figured we could do an episode on it. The whole Dave Scoot thing totally motivated me when I went to his when we went to his apartment, and just seeing all of it and seeing boards that I've had before in my life, or boards I remember being on a wall of a shop, and I was kind of like, man, I fucking blew it. Like, because I've had boards and I'll get rid of them, or I'm not really much of a collector, and I was kind of like, man, I really fucking blew this. And if the longer I wait, the harder it is going to be to get anything, because they just get older and more rare and more expensive. So I figured, let me start, see what I can do here and there, and, try and grab a couple pieces or whatever. And I know you've been
Yeah.
collecting for a while. Long time.
Yeah, I mean that stuff is out there. It's a matter of finding it at the right time and before somebody else, and that stuff gets scooped up quick when a good one comes up for a good price.
Yeah, and it's crazy because, like I said, I've been doing this. I mean, maybe 3 weeks now. I've been like, collecting, and it's really interesting to me to see how much like stuff goes for, how much people list for, and like it is a whole little circle, if I'm not mistaken. Who knows who, and people have it, and recycling collections, and one person will have it until they're sick of it and they know who wants it. Dave kind of touched on that, but I just find it all really interesting.
Yeah, like the eBay stuff is okay, but it's almost like you have to make those connections with other people that are into it to really find stuff that you're looking for. Like Dave said, if somebody knows that you're into something, like when I was looking up those bootleg boards, like people would DM me as soon as something went up, be like, "Oh, I know you're looking for these. Somebody just posted one in this group or whatever."
Pretty cool too, like people having an eye out for you, because there is stuff. It's pretty crazy too. A friend of mine, my friend Eddie, he showed me the other day, he got all these 60/40 boards, like immaculate.
Right, and
And
how long
he
was
had these
60/40 really going?
2 years tops,
Yeah,
you
right.
know? Yeah. And that's like mid 90s. And He had all these Jay Stevens. It was sad. Like they didn't even say sad. They were Jay Stevens boards, and he had 3 of them. And yeah, he got them for like $60 a piece. And it's so crazy. And I'm just like, do you want to sell any of them? Like, and he won't sell them. He's smart because he shouldn't, because they're the best things ever. But it was just crazy to me and how he got them. And it was on a place where every other board is like $300. And somehow he looked through all the listings and saw it and scooped them up. But, you know, it is crazy to me. I mean, Dave was talking to me too about, because I was asking him how to find stuff. Like, how do you find this stuff? How does it come up? And, you know, and the best way is if it's misspelled or it's somebody who doesn't skate and they come across stuff, you know, listing stuff. You can find stuff cheap because, again, I was blown away looking like, holy shit, every board's like $150 minimum.
That was like that Populardo decade board that I managed to scoop up off like Facebook Marketplace. Like it sucks that somebody lost their storage unit, but then this guy who buys storage units just found all these decks in a thing and was like, "Oh, here, these are for sale. Like I don't know what they're worth. You know, make me an offer." I was like, "Shit, I'm jumping on this one because I need it." It sucks that it's somebody else's misfortune, but I mean, it is what it is. Like it's going to go to somebody. It might as well be to somebody that wants it.
Totally. I mean, and Scoot had that with I don't know if we got into this last episode, but he had it where he came across somebody who had boards from Stevie Williams' storage unit,
Mm-hmm.
like randomly, and that's how he ended up with the I kept saying it was the mustard board, but it wasn't. It was the grenade one,
It was the grenade one, yeah.
which is even more insane. I'd say that to me is the Stevie board, like, because he used to have the grenade medallion. To come up on that, and probably for probably nothing that he got it for,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, yeah, because it was a chocolate graphic screened over a girl shape, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was over the Mike Carroll. I think it was a Mike Carroll North Carolina board, but I could be wrong
Okay.
on that. Totally could be wrong.
But yeah, you could see the graphic underneath it.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's when they used to silk screen everything, so the paint was thicker and you
Mm.
could see it all. But I don't know. I think it's really like the hunting of it is probably pretty cool. Also frustrating. You know,
Yeah.
is that like an appeal to you, like the hunting down?
Dude, that's all it is for me. Like I love having it and like tracking it down, but tracking it down is like the fun part. Like, but being in Dave's spot where there's like 6 out of 7 that you have of something and you can't get that last one has to be like infuriating. Like,
Yeah.
but you know, it is what it is. You just got, it's a long game. Like, you know, he's been in it 20 something years. Like, I got my first board that I didn't skate in 96. So shit, 28 years or something.
See, and that's so amazing to me, the hindsight to collect it. Like I never would have thought of that. I never imagined any of it. And it's so cool that people, like, even, you know, Tim's been collecting since like 2000 or something around there. And it's amazing to me that he even did. I never would have even thought, oh, I should save this. This is cool.
So I was like a weirdo collector because I would save everything. So I had like, when I was living in my mom's, I had a room that like I literally had every board I ever skated just in a pile in the corner, or they were hung on the wall and skated. Like I had like, because I would always skate Kalis workshop boards. So at one point, like my whole wall was like every Kalis workshop graphic. And, you know, and they were all skated to shit, but I still thought it was cool to like have all those there. But I was just like, I got started working in shops so early, so I had access to like skate like POP stuff. So I would all like my room always looked like a skate shop. Like it had every banner possible and like dumb shit like that all over the wall. So it was like that, it was like consuming to me. Like, so I wanted everything in there to be skate related.
Just, so cool. I remember anything that would come in, like I was right on eBay with it, like, oh, I can sell this. And that was, you know, that was my mentality at the time. This is like, you know, late 90s, 2000, whatever. I remember it was just, is there value to this that I can sell it? Or who can I sell this to? Anything free that came in when I worked at the shop. But yeah, I just, you go through and it's crazy to me too that you can still, not the oldest generation, but you can still find like Gino Iannucci chocolate boards. Like there's a lot of listings, and Guy Mariano girl boards. There's a lot of So
Yeah,
to get,
they're
even
not
if it's
cheap,
like,
but
oh yeah, like this is a cool skater, I can still get something to, but it's also like, wow, that's $200 for this thing. Like that's crazy. But,
yeah,
you
I
know,
do like that they have that option where you can filter by like sold listings. So if you see something you're like, it's the first time you're looking it up, you can go in to look and see like, oh, just because this person's asking $800 for it does not mean it's going for $800. Like, oh, I can see 5 of these sold at $200 within the last 2 years.
oh, that's pretty cool. So I guess not to
Yeah, I don't
give
know
up
how to
all
do
the,
it because I don't really ever go on like a computer, but on the like app you can do it where like you can search by completed listings and sale and sold items, and that way you can go in and see like, oh, well, this was sold. One of these sold 2 years ago.
if you want, they have a fake Aaron Cairo Braille girl board
Sick.
if you want that one.
Yeah,
That
that
is
looks like
pretty
a
cool.
bright graphic.
Could you imagine someone buying that?
Somebody must have.
God, look at that.
That looks like that shitty Black Label series that looked like that. I feel like I had a ragdoll board that looked like that.
This is like,
And yes, I had a ragdoll board at some point. You can make fun of me. It's okay.
I won't judge you for it. This is insane to me. Who the hell is collecting Braille skateboards?
$675.
That is nutty.
But I'm sure that's more of like that false scarcity that they've learned to build up of like, oh, we only made 50 of these,
Yeah, yeah,
but then they're not numbered. Barracks would drop like, oh, this person had a battle commander, here's his board, and they're all signed, but you got to go quick. And they were like $100. And they would sell them out so fast because people just assumed down the line that they would care.
yeah.
Like,
It's
no one
funny
cares about
when
the
we
fucking
did
Barracks.
with Northern, we did these Jason Lee boards, and they were numbered, so we did 50 of them. But I remember the guy at Penswood, Joe was like, "Well, I can get you an artist one." Like, he was like, "Yeah, you're getting 50, and there's a couple extra." So it's like we do this other one he wrote. I forget what he was writing on those. Those are like, oh, these are like, for the artists. It's like what, like,
Yeah, well, that's even like I have that Stan Lee terror board, and it's like the test print.
mm-hmm.
So there's no top graphic. It's screened on like a natural top board. Like it's not would have went out as production,
Right,
but it's the same graphic.
just to see,
Yeah, and it's
which
not
is cooler in a
thousands
way.
of dollars. Yeah, right. Because there's only like one or two of them out there.
Yeah, man, so crazy. Really is like it's just how much stuff is out there and how much.
Right. Like, how can you say it's rare when there's 100 of them on eBay?
Yeah.
Like, it's not that
No,
rare.
it's
Yeah, that Geno board has been on eBay for like 4 years.
is that the used one here? This
No,
Islanders
the one
skated
right
one?
above it, that chocolate one,
Yeah, 349. So it was
it's
funny
been
too
up there
because
forever.
or best offer. Because I was showing Dave boards. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like it's soccer and Gino's Italian and they probably play soccer in Italy. Like this is cool. And Dave laughed. He was like, I got those boards. So he's like, I had so many of these. I gave them away at Christmas time to people. He goes, I can't believe it's that price. He's like, don't ever buy that. Is what he said. I thought that was funny. I thought it was a cool one though. But it is like just and all the remakes,
Yeah,
like
there's certain things like where people just post stuff and just let it ride because it doesn't matter to them when it sells.
yeah,
Like, there's a Rob G listen board that's been on eBay. It has to have been up there for 6 years now, and they want like $200 or $375 for it because it's signed.
mm-hmm.
I'm like, and I've sent them offers of like, listen, I really like Listen. I kind of want this board. but there's no way that's what it's worth. And they're just like, no response. It's like, everybody determines what they think it's worth, but if you're okay with it sitting there for 5 years and not getting you any money, then that's cool. But other people just wanted to get rid of it, and there's there's that same board not signed for
half the price. Oh, the top one is signed?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'll go back up here. I'm curious now. Oh yeah, that one's signed.
Yeah. So that's an interesting conversation to get into when it goes back to like Tim and those people, is like the signed boards. Like, I don't think Tim would ever touch a board that's signed on the graphic.
Yeah, that's like I've learned
signed on the bottom or on
that's
the top.
That's like taboo.
Where like, but that's like a wheels out, wheels in thing where it's like, I don't fucking want the board signed up top. Like, that does me no good if I'm hanging it on the wall or whatever. Like, I like to see that it's signed. So like all my stuff is signed on the graphic, but I'll take the time to like, all right, so what color, paint pen will show up on this graphic or, whatever.
So do you get people who've yelled at you like, Mitch, what are you doing?
No, because it's signed for, like, if I'm getting something signed, chances are it's for me to keep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not for me to sell to somebody later on. Like, I don't give a shit about that. Like, honestly, I would probably never buy a signed board, because the whole point of me getting a board signed is because either I met that person or like I've spent time with that person. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't give a shit about an autograph of some random, it's like, yeah, I've met Gino once or twice, but like, I don't need a Gino autograph board that some other person got signed. Like, it's more of like because it means something to me. That's why I got it signed.
And that makes a lot of sense. That's really cool.
Like, everybody that skates the contest that I run, like when they go pro, I get them to sign a board for me. And like half of them, it's like the first board they've ever signed because I'm getting them right away because they're local or whatever. Mm-hmm. But still, it's like, or even, there's a perfect example. We were just talking about this. Like, we had Niall on the podcast. So I hit up Nick, and was like, yo, I'm going to buy one of Niall's boards. The next time he's in the shop, get him to sign it for me. So now it's like, this means something. Like, yeah, I've never hung out with Niall, but at the same time, like, he was on the podcast. We've had a good conversation. So like, and I'm a fan of his skating. So I want to have something that connects me to him directly.
Really cool.
It's like, eventually, yeah, I'll meet that dude and we'll skate and hang out and whatever. But
it's pretty wild. He told me he rides Grizzly Grip.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, I'm kidding. We were joking about that the other day.
He's going to lose it.
Oh, man. Yeah.
But yeah, like Herb told me he's going to be in Philly in July. So I'll get him to sign his board, his DOA board, once he's here, because we'll hang out, we'll skate, and then it'll be something like in person and kind of like connecting the two of us. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to like mail him a board to sign for me because that doesn't mean anything.
So which board do you have?
I have the Froze one, the orange one.
Okay.
Which will look cool signed because it's got all that open orange top space.
Mm-hmm.
So he can sign it anywhere and it'll look cool.
Man, that's one. So when I started getting all these DOA boards, like, I don't have any Herb boards. And then I was like, I want the action one. The one with the Guy Mariano Aries on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know where I'm going to find that. But that's funny. Like, I was realizing, like,
somebody in Tennessee is going to have it.
Like, I'm sure. So it's weird. I put a thing on Instagram about boards, and like, people messaged me like, oh, I have these still if you want them, which was really cool. And I really appreciate that. And, I should be getting the John Devine,
shout out
fake
Tony.
Jeremy Klein back. And that was like one of the ones, it's funny too. Cause after you get one, I'm like,
sorry.
Nope.
Tony's sending you the poppers one, right? Not the smokers one.
Yeah. He's right. And then,
and somebody had the smoking one though?
Bobby Sparrow had it.
No shit. That's sick.
And he reached out to me. He's like, I have this I was like, oh my God. And he was like, yeah,
Bobby's
I got you.
the man too. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So so awesome. I was like, I'll send you a label, like whatever you want. And he was like, just know I want you to, you can have it. Like I like the pod, whatever. Um,
That's awesome.
Mitch is cool. Like, yeah. And I was like, oh my God. But it's funny too, because it's like when I started getting all the DOA boards back, I was like, I just want the Capadonna board. That's all I want. And then you get it, and it's like,
Oh,
I
what
just
else
want
can
the
I find?
Divine Heart Attack board. And then it's like, I want the Herb Aries. It like never, I don't know. For me, it feels like it's also not like I have a lot, but it feels like it never ends. Do you get it run into that?
Yeah, of course. But that's like the best part of it is like it's never going to end. Like there's been millions of skateboards produced, and it's never ending.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like I'll have, it's as cheesy as it is, like I have this thing where it's like I collected all those contest boards and all of these people that went pro, and there's like 4 or 5 in the very beginning where these people went pro for these little, it's like a stupid jersey company or something, where it's like, oh, I'm never gonna find a Danny Morin seed board, but there's somebody out there that has one. I'm sure of it, and it's just sitting in a garage somewhere, or some random person's gonna hear about it somewhere one day, or like a Ron Gordon Keystone board, like the funniest shit. There, it's like, yeah, it's crazy, and I probably wouldn't spend money on it, but at the same time, like I feel like that collection is incomplete because
Right.
these people went pro for a company. Like I'm not saying some shit where like you started a company and turned yourself pro, like that doesn't count. But if another company put your name on a board, I have it on the list. Or
Mm-hmm.
it's like, and we're at like 40, I think it was 44 the last time I checked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude, it's a big ass list.
Wow.
Because
That is a
we
big
had like
list.
random people that would come through and skate one contest, but they're on the list because they skated a contest at some point. Like Chaz Ortiz came down and skated one, or there's no way.
No.
Um, yeah, there's random ones like Trevor Colden came up from Virginia Beach because he was hanging out with like Aunt Travis and those guys filming, and he was in town when a contest happened. So he skated one. So like yeah, and I don't have a Trevor Colden board. So if anybody's got a random ass Trevor Colden skate mental, and you want to sell it, hit me up.
He was pro for them?
Yeah, yeah,
And then
he
when you
was.
try and do that too, it's you try and get the first pro board.
I would prefer the first one, but beggars can't be choosers at this point. There's certain ones where it's like, oh, well, I'll just keep what I can get. Or if it's a cool one, like it sucks. I got Brian O'Dwyer's first one, and then I just saw his second one on Death Wish is way cooler than the first one. Like, because it has a graphic, it's not just his name.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn, I kind of wish that I'd gotten that one, but it is what it is. Like,
Yeah, and you
there'll
know
be
you
times that
can't
I'll switch it up.
close Kanye West skate mental. Shane O'Neill, man.
Yeah, so it's just like his first board on Skate Metal is actually cool because it's like I guess he quit Mystery and there was like beef with Jamie, so there's like an invoice for all of his footage,
Oh, that's funny,
and they just made that a graphic because Brad's such a dick.
man. I just
Yeah, like that
I go
BA
through
board's
it.
kind of cool.
Which one?
The Saints BA one, like if you're
I've
into
never seen that. This, it's so funny because I guess Girl was off my radar too, but it's so crazy that there's all these boards I haven't seen. It reminds me of like going skating in like your local area and then not seeing kids who skate who are from Bayou and like I don't even know. I used to know every dude who skated,
yeah.
and I don't know any of these guys now. If there's a Jersey Devil
There's
board on
no way
here,
it's going to be on there. Like, yeah, it's like Keystone or yeah. There's no way. But I'm telling you, some random person is going to have one in their garage or like was on their wall, but they don't hang skateboards anymore because they're just not into it. And it's going to show up. Like somebody's going to tell me one day, like, "Oh, I got one."
yeah, it's it all is crazy. Because I get lost down this like the rabbit hole.
But then I get so
And
excited for knowing the new ones are like Ronnie Kestner has to have one coming soon. Jameer has to have one coming soon.
Jameer better.
Kevin Lidke's got it is probably going to get an alien board. Like that would be my thought. Like they're really giving him some attention.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Man,
people like that I've known since they were like literal like little kids. Like I
Mitch,
want them to all get boards.
was there an Alien Workshop video that just came out?
Yeah, like
So off my radar.
it's not great.
Well,
It's all from like a tour that they did.
mm-hmm.
So it's like a bunch of like it's a lot of people skating the same spots because they were all just on a trip. But there's like Yage clips in there, and like I didn't even know he was still on Alien.
Yeah, because somebody told me that, and I was like, they did. It's just I don't know. I don't want to feel out of the loop.
Yeah, like Joey only has like 2 clips in the whole thing.
Like the things I start looking for, and I'm like,
Yeah.
You're looking for Ronnie Gordon boards. I'm looking for Chris Franz and neighborhood boards, and
Yeah, but that's what it is. It's like it's so cool that there's the randomest things out there that.
I spelled skateboard wrong. You didn't see that?
But yeah, like when I was at Baker Boys, I saw this Ellington Gremlins graphic that they did. Like it was probably 2012, something like that. And they had the original art on the wall, and I had like kept the sticker just because I thought it was cool. It's like the gremlin with like a chainsaw in his hands,
Mm-hmm.
and like that one, $314. Holy shit! But I literally got that board. Somebody local like posted like, "Hey, I have these decks that I held on to that I just don't want anymore." I want to say I got it for like $40,
Awesome.
but it was just cool to have it. And like I have another board that like Ellington signed for me, and like because we were talking a bunch at one point, so he like when I saw him somewhere, he signed something. But it's like
Man.
I'd love to get this one signed because the graphic that I have is on a terrible Barracks Ellington board.
It's like I think it's cool though to see this stuff and remember. Like I'm not like Ellington. I always thought was dope, but I'm not like a Death Wish Baker dude.
Yeah,
But it's so cool to see all this. You know, I like even searching these pages and just looking up stuff and seeing where it leads me and seeing these boards. I just think
yeah,
it's so
you go
cool.
down these rabbit holes.
Yeah, it's so amazing.
Yeah, I wish I had taken more pictures of boards that I had before I sold them, just to have like an archive of like, oh, these are all the ones that I got rid of over the years.
Yeah, that's because that's what it is. Once they're gone, like if you have the picture release, something like I can look back. I did have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's cool to
And
see it. Like I said last time, I think like you see it pop up in someone else's collection like years later. Like, oh, that one's mine because I know it was signed in that spot on that board in that color.
Yeah, it's oh my god,
A dog.
dog. See, those are the ones I think are funny when you see those like over. Like, who even bought these to begin with? But that's also how many were they making, and that's
Yeah, dude, that Guns N' Roses Ellington board that's like $800. That thing's amazing.
yeah. I mean, that basically embodies it, right? That's like
And he's had. I was just who the hell? I was talking to somebody about that the other day. Like he's had a bunch of Guns N' Roses graphics.
yeah,
And somehow he manages to make everyone like memorable and cool, not just like, oh, we took this, art from their thing and slapped it on here. Like that the Lies album where like the whole board is all different like newspaper. It looks like a tabloid or whatever. And it's all different stories about the Baker team.
I saw it. That's over
Yeah,
here.
there's one on there somewhere.
Yeah, I saw it. Which is it's a cool narrative.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah, I definitely skated that one, but I think it was like the cream version, not the black one.
So I guess this is another one. I guess I'm gonna pick your brain a little here, Mitch, too. But like so boards like see I'm seeing it like Ellington's cool. I like Ellington skating, but I wasn't like a big but are there boards you would pick up if you saw knowing like I can flip this and then put that money towards something cooler?
At this point, not really. Like unless I find it for like a steal and I'm like, oh, somebody's gonna really want this. If I saw it on like a Facebook marketplace or something where it's like, oh, some dude's like, oh, give me $25 for this, whatever. Yeah, maybe I would put the effort in, but at this point, like, not to say I don't need the money, but like I'm enough of a collector at this point, and like like well enough in my life that I don't need to like pull this out from somebody else that could get it for a steal, that it'll mean something to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or I would buy it and be like, yo, I'll give you this for, you know, I paid 25 for it, give me 50 for it, and we're good. Like, you know,
Yeah.
give it to somebody. Like, perfect example. I got I hate to bring it back to terror again, but like I got the Sabotage did a terror board forever ago. Like it was one of like the first collabs they did. And I got a green one from a friend of mine, and then somebody else had the red one. And I got it for like $40, like super cheap. So I went to B Dug's, didn't have one, and he was like in the edit for it. So I was like, oh, let me get one of these. Like, let me get this to you. I heard you're looking for it. So I just sold it to him for, you know, the $40, where it's like, I'm sure I could have gotten way more for it, but it's more that I wanted him to have it. Yeah, dude, look at the prices on those Stanley boards. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's funny. I see the one on the left is numbered. The one on the right isn't numbered.
Yeah. Yeah, prototype.
Yeah, it's wow.
Yeah, there's some stuff on there. There's the Czarface board.
Those are cool.
At one point. Yeah, but it's expensive now.
You know, it's funny. The like I feel like the old version, like the only cool thing about the Penswood stuff is that they were silk screened, and I feel like for collecting, it's such a cool thing to have.
Yeah.
Like I just think like, is that one coming back?
The matchstick one?
No, the Maldonado with the smokestacks.
No. His original like Misfits graphic is coming out next week. The one that Henry Jones did.
Wow, it's
There it is.
this one. Oh, right. Wait, did I pass
Above
it?
it. Yeah,
Oh,
right
the
there.
Czarface, yeah.
Yeah, like $1,000.
Man.
Sucks. There was one on eBay recently for, it wasn't signed, but it was like, I would say it was like $400, and I was just being cheap. Where like I should have just bought it when I could have.
Oh, so you don't have that one?
No,
Man, it's such a cool looking board.
no. I managed to track down every guest board that's been done now.
Not bad.
Yeah, Vern's guest board drops next week.
I saw that, all assorted stains. No
Yeah,
two are
very
alike
cool.
for the most part.
I know. I got saying to Angel today, I need to get a red one, so it's like a temple. You know, have that vibe to it. That's crazy. That somebody's
We
got
didn't
all
make
three
red, cuz.
Papalardo ones for $350.
So with these two, so now one of them's the decade one, right?
The green one.
And what's the black and purple one? That one's cool. Do you have that one?
No, I'm trying not to keep too much stuff. So
Right.
when I got that green one, I gave you the blue one that I had.
You did, which was really awesome.
But yeah, I didn't have the black and purple. It's funny because that blue one is a 775, which wasn't made for production. It was
Oh.
made for somebody that was going to be on the team that skated 775s. But
I know who that is, don't I?
yeah, definitely do.
He can switch 360 flip cans.
Yeah, yeah. He's
Oh, that's a cool
skating
little
a terror
tidbit.
board doing that trick.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah,
Oh,
$350.
so whoever
for
has
either.
this definitely knew somebody.
Yeah, but I mean, or he could have just collected them, but if that's the situation that you were talking about, where like somebody that wants one of those could easily buy that for $350 and probably sell those other two and make the bulk of their money back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's also intriguing to me. And then another one, because I already asked you this one, but do you, when you get a new board, like let's say it is a new one, do you rip it right out of the plastic and go straight into the bag with it, or do you keep the
100%.
plastic on? And
Yeah, because I've had boards that like they call it shrink burn,
Hmm.
where it'll like leave like little dots all over the graphic, especially if it's like a heat transfer or if they use like a shittier plastic in the shrinking, like in the shrink wrap process.
Hmm.
Who was it? Don Pendleton posted something in the Alien Workshop group one time, like broke down the whole thing of like the way the air gets trapped inside and the different temperatures and things like that. Like all that stuff makes a difference. So yeah, don't store your boards in the shrink. And for fuck's sake, do not display your boards with the cardboard on them. It drives me insane. That looks so bad. That used to be the thing that like I would see like shit on the Nine Club and it would crush my soul. Like, why is the cardboard or like the size sticker? Why is the size sticker on this board while it's hanging on your wall? That looks ridiculous.
Yeah, that's and it's funny too because it's like first off, it's a new board, like 'cause they didn't used to do that.
Yeah.
Like here, you get this with this most power.
Man, you know what's going to happen. You're going to scroll through this. You have no idea, but I'm desperately looking for a Dark Star board that never came out.
Wait, how do you? Is this something from Kai?
No, it's. Do you know that kid Mike Burtis? He was on Dark Star right at the end. He's like a OC Ramps kid.
No, but is he
No,
from? He's
he's from
one of the
Erie.
contest kid.
Skated the contest, went pro right when Dark Star went under. So he had a part. He had a graphic that supposedly, I mean, they had the boards. They had a party for him. Like they went pro, had a stack of those boards. But that's right whenever. So I guarantee they are on like a shipping container somewhere, just waiting to hit like a off-brand store.
Wow.
And
Well, I guess
I
that would
look
be
all the
cool,
time.
right?
I saw there was a shop in like Germany that had one, and I was at the point where I was like, damn, I kind of need to hit them up to try and get this, but it just doesn't. They didn't respond to me.
Man, that's crazy. That would be
I
cool if
know
it ended
it
up in like
kills me
Target or
that I
Five
need
Below.
that I need a Dark Star board, but he falls in the category. He skated the contest for years. His
Well,
parents were super cool and would bring him down to like Erie's a good 6-7 hours away from here, and they would bring him down to every contest we did.
well, don't laugh, Mitch. But I was looking up Ryan Kenrich boards.
Yeah,
I
I
used
mean,
to. I thought
I
his skating was
purchased
awesome.
a Geek Hampton board for somebody recently
Oh God,
because they're
with his
not
bowl
on.
cut in his little arms.
But yeah, they're not on. They don't have an eBay account anymore. They got banned or something.
Wow.
So they were like, "Can
Kai
you buy
wanted
this
it that
for me?"
bad. They banned Kai from eBay.
Yeah, he was desperately trying to buy a Dark Star chain and
See, man, as a joke, I would almost get an Adam
an
Diet
Adam
board.
Diet board.
Holy shit! Like,
That's
do,
the biggest waste of $50 ever.
do you run into people and they're like, "Yeah, I got this sick collection," and then it's like Adam Diet and Ragdoll, and you're like, "Oh, cool, dude, I gotta go."
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, dude, I hate Facebook. I wish I didn't have Facebook, but that's where all these groups are. And it's like, you see the weirdest shit on there. Like, you see the dudes that are still wearing D3s. Because when you wonder, like, how are D3s still being made? Or, like, those DC courts. It's like, you are the guys that are still wearing them. Like, holy shit.
Yeah,
Why? But like you see those are the guys that buy that Muska silhouette board in every color when he signs it and sells it for $200.
Mitch, only $50 shipped. You can get a PLG Dark Star.
Who knew PLG still had boards in 2015?
Well, this is that 20. Yeah. Speaking of Osiris, oh, Manolo tapes board. Just kidding. Oh, Paul Mocknow. Oh my God. There may be a need for this legendary Dark Star collection.
They pump out graphics.
Man, boy, do they. You know what I want, Mitch? And this just reminded
Wow,
me.
I totally forgot Terrell Robinson was on Darkstar.
Yeah, me too. Poor guy. Um, but he was on City. He was on Dark
It's
Star.
a mystery.
Yeah, he was on something else too. City Stars. Um, I want the Maldonado World Industries board with the steamroller.
Oh, dude, it's a tough one. I had it. I sold it to Angel. I don't know if Angel still has it or if he sold it.
Man,
But those things, it's the see, but that's the thing. Like, those things float around between person to person, and then the next person decides they don't need it anymore. And I went through this thing where I was trying to only keep one of any person's board, and there were very few exceptions. Like, I have every Jimmy Chung board that DOA had. Like, I'll always keep those, and then I have Jimmy's Terror board. But like, there's very few exceptions to who I need more than one of.
yeah. No, I know what you're saying. Like it's, and do you veer off into the series? Because that's one that Dave did. I thought was cool, and I haven't found myself there yet. But it's got to be awesome to, wrap it up.
So I started when Wade got on Primitive. For some reason, I started collecting all of like that animals board that they did. Like, it was everybody's first board. They got that one with like the insignia, or whatever, and then the animal above it. Because Tiago got on, and I thought that was cool, and I was like, "Damn, I want to start tracking these down." And I got to the point where I had all of them, but Bastions and Shane's. And then there were like weird things where like Shane's didn't come out in a color. Like, I was only getting the colored ones. I wasn't getting the
gold foil.
Because that, you can't display that. It looks stupid. But that whole set all lined up together looks cool on the wall. Especially to people that like don't skate. Like, I had them in my office at work. So it was like all these people that don't skate, just like, oh, these skateboards look cool all together.
Right.
But yeah, Shane's only came out as a complete in full color, like a little kid complete. So you had to buy it that way, and I could never find it. And then Bastions was the only one I couldn't track down.
Wow.
But then, yeah, the last dude, Trey Williams, when he went pro, they only put his board out in the foil. They never released it in a regular graphic. So I guess that series is done. Like,
That's gotta suck though. Yeah, because then you start it, which again, it's never ending.
Right. Not that I'm like itching to buy a Dylan Jabe or whatever, but it's like, yeah, if it came out, I would probably buy it just to have the set complete.
Right.
Or I should just sell off the whole set at this point. But then I'd be weird because I don't want to get rid of the Wade one or like Tiago or JB, like the people that I like, but then people want the set. So it's like a weird, like, I don't know what to do with it, but it's not doing me any harm sitting in a box in my basement.
Yeah, I think it's cool because it reminds me of the chocolate, like the portrait series.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is the board they do when somebody goes pro for the first time.
Yeah, I think that's pretty damn cool. So, but is that about it as far as you go into like series or stuff like that? Because I guess if they are done with it, it's kind of cool. Like, oh, I can possibly finish this.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some but not a lot, because it was more like individual. Like when I was doing the bootleg ones, I just wanted one of every pro.
Mm-hmm.
But they were 15 plus years old at that point when I started tracking them down.
Do you have the cool Keith one?
I don't have any left except Pete's.
Oh, but you have it. That's so sick. Oh, New Deal promo only $10.99. Yeah, it's like it's funny too because there's guys I like, and like JB. Like, I'm like, oh, I want a JB, but I definitely like.
I think I have that JB board right there.
This one,
the Virgin Statue of Liberty one.
Yeah, and it's
like, that's like in a box in my basement. So if you want it, I'll mail it to you.
Oh, I'll trade you something for it. But like that out of the primitive ones that I like, I don't want. You know what I mean? It's like I don't want Dragon Ball Z Naruto.
Yeah,
JB
no one wants
board.
That shit.
Like, that one has a graphic at least. Like, yeah, I don't want a cliche, fully flared one.
Yeah, I know people that have that whole set though. Like, because because it was across all the different companies. So there was like a Lenosi Baker one. There was a, whatever,
Mhm.
all the girl dudes got one. Like Cliche did it.
Which is pretty cool, like to piece it all together, and because it is across, that is like it's across the spectrum. They all have the same graphic of sorts, but
Man, do you know what one I regret not keeping is the chomp on this Zero board. I had the girl and the Zero one. Yeah, those. I'm sure they're
which ones
not.
are these? Are these girl?
That's the girl one. Man, the Zero one's not even on there. But yeah, the Zero one reads horizontally.
That Alyssa board's awesome.
Yeah.
White Castle DGK, let's go.
Oh, the shirt's sick. $300
Yeah, $297.99, Mitch.
or best
Code
offer for an Innis
chomp on
t-shirt.
this. Man. Oh, that one's only 44. Well worn. Man. What a time in skating.
Yeah, I just thought Chomp was so cool at that point.
Yeah, yeah. I always think that was like the coolest part Jamie Thomas ever had.
Oh yeah,
Not his best, but it was his coolest.
yeah, because it's fun.
GNS boards, man, this is so crazy. Like that somebody had that and saved this. 1991.
Yeah, and has a bunch of them, not just one.
Yeah, man, like it just that's the stuff, and it starts to blow my mind. Like the foresight to that somebody even saved them. I mean, who knows? This guy could have just cleared out a storage unit because it looks like there's a lot of the same boards. Um, which, of course, once I start going, I can't.
Yeah,
When I switch
Go
screens,
down
it
the
doesn't
rabbit hole.
follow over.
Yeah,
But this dude just has like every. That's crazy. There's like every old 1991 GNS board. So, oh, man. I just, and like Dave, when Dave was saying too, like there's people that save this stuff, and there is a, to have that foresight to do it, there's definitely, some of it's worth the money. That person deserves it just for preserving this item.
yeah, and like it's cool that like brands care about that stuff. Like, dude, if you go to NHS, they have like every bootleg board is hanging up in the like factory there.
Yeah.
They have
No,
all
that's
that
like,
stuff.
we have Chapman here. Have you ever been there, Mitch?
No, but yeah,
So
I
it's
know
really
they have
cool,
like
and
a
they
bunch
have
of
like,
old zoo stuff, right?
yeah, Ozu, Supreme. It was I remember there was more stuff at one time, and it seems like it was, but they have old Silver Star stuff, Illuminati stuff. Like a couple of those. It's really cool just to see all the old boards.
Yeah, because they didn't make Silver Star, right? Somebody else did Silver Star.
Yeah, I think that was through Capital.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah, I can't even imagine. Do you know Chris
Ooh.
Davis,
Yes.
Jersey?
Yeah.
He's got a crazy collection of Silver Star. So does Stein. But what the hell is that?
See, this must be a fake one.
Yeah,
This
that's
one
like some bullshit.
has no die on the top.
Oh wait, you're looking at something different than me.
Yeah,
I'm thinking you're talking about this Silver Star Beast of Skulls.
yeah, that's what I was looking at.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's definitely not a real
No.
graphic. Yeah, it's just another company that like there was another company that called themselves Illuminati because obviously that's just a term that everybody wants to use. But
Mitch, I think I had this Matt Reason board.
I had it for sure.
Yeah.
I
I'm
sold
actually
Stein
really
my
sure I
skated
had it.
one a couple years ago.
Man. Oh, so cool. $990.
But they'll get it. Like that's one that like somebody's going to decide they need it.
Man. It's also amazing to me. It really is.
Yeah,
You know?
my friend Skip has an original New York Keys Matt Reason board.
So cool. I remember making fun of that board like crazy. It was like, it's 9 inches. This is ridiculous.
Did it what? Yeah, it was like an 875.
Yeah, it was a huge board. So cool, man.
Yeah, there's no way that's on there.
No.
You get lots of J.C. Penney's New York, but not.
Oh, God, I know how to spell.
It fixed it for
Yeah.
you. Oh, yeah. Upper Deck.
I remember when he was on Creation. I was looking up Yellow Brand boards last night.
Dude, speaking of Yellow Brand, Ryan Nix has been ripping.
I think there's a board. Yeah, there was one up that he signed. Yeah.
The Nix signed?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing really good. He's like fully sober and doing really well.
Yeah, and he's in Delaware, or is he in Philly?
No, he's in Delaware.
Delaware. Good for him. Really good skater.
Yeah,
Yellow was so sick.
Yeah, I saw him at Tim's thing. He was there hanging out.
Oh, and then there's like junk. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's the stuff that it's so funny when like you search these things. It's like, wait, that's not at all what I'm looking for. Like a globe board.
Yeah.
A terrible Powell reissue.
Fake
Dude, how much is that Familia shirt? That thing's sick.
Huh? Yeah, it is fun though. It's like consuming, but you go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, because you'll find random shit that like you never knew you wanted, and then all of a sudden you'll come across it.
Yeah, it's
like I have saved alerts on for Listen, like for when new stuff gets posted under Listen skateboards.
Mm-hmm.
But I get all the like listen to Bob Marley element boards and shit, like terrible stuff. Yeah, like this Jason Lee board. Like no one fucking cares. No one needs that.
So funny. Like these are probably super new ones too. Is that your Rob Gonzalez? No.
No, but it's on here somewhere. You'll see it. That one's skated. A guy sent me that the other day. Like it's cool and it's not that beat up, but I don't collect anything that's skated. Yeah, see, I get all this like this one right here, the one that's up for $350. Dude, it's been up there for at least 5 years, probably longer.
Wow. That's so crazy. And it's like, like, is it worth just sitting there?
Yeah, like they probably don't even have it anymore. But it's just they didn't think to take it down.
Man. Oh, there you go. You want your Pulsar skate deck?
With the 8. Yeah, it's funny because I've tried to call in like every connection on those to try and get like I hit up Toya, I hit up Rob G, I hit up Vern, I hit up Brian Brown. Like nobody kept anything.
Man. Oh. I almost kicked tires on this one.
Yeah, that's cool. Rasa Libre was sick.
Yeah, and it's like, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, well, I have nothing. Like I don't want to. Like, there's a point, and I do. I'm like, oh, that's a really cool board.
Yeah, like that Battle at the Barracks, Tyler Peterson. It's like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, you want that? Was that him with his face there?
Yeah.
Round 2 deck. God.
Oh, shout out Davis. It's a real Davis Torgerson board.
Oh, look at that. $350.
Dude, those real boards, the Cathedral series, those went crazy because that's another one where it's a series, but it came out like one at a time. It didn't all drop at once. So people like didn't catch on at first, and going back to get the old ones, people were gouging those prices that had them. They were like, "Oh, you want this Booznets one? $1,000." And they were getting it. Like they were selling for so much money because people wanted to complete the set.
Man.
And they weren't making half as many of the original ones as they did once people realized they were cool.
Oh.
But like now it got into like hologram cathedral and like all these different variations of it where like now they
right, they're like, ooh, these were popular.
Shit, that Nate Jones board.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
So sick. Oh, man. So cool. I thought this Chico was cool for a Chico board because I was like, oh, I like Chico.
Yeah. See, but this is where it gets me because I start going. That's why I can't do this. I can't go down these rabbit holes of like random shit that's out there.
I think Greco board's awesome. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun little thing to do.
Yeah, so if you're watching this, leave in the comments the most random board in your collection if you have shit saved. I'd love to see.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to. Or if anybody's looking for anything too, leave it, and maybe somebody has a lead on it.
Yeah, maybe somebody else will see it in the comments.
Yeah. I said it's fun. It's pretty cool because I do think of things and wish I had them, and now it's like, no, now I want to, keep them. So.
Yeah, definitely. It's always, and like my collection's very weird. It's like the majority is probably stuff that no one else would want, but it's to me, I'm so psyched on it. Like I found somebody had decks from the shop that I worked at. I was like, oh, shop boards. Like nobody cared about those, like keeping them then, but now I'm like, I'm so glad that they exist.
Yeah,
for some reason,
and it is cool because. And that's what makes your collection yours. It's not like, oh, this board's this much, so I have to have it,
Yeah, and it's cool because I wound up getting 3 of them, like 3 different graphics, and I parted them out to 2 other people that were like, psyched on. Like they were more like little kids that came into the shop,
right?
And they're like, "Oh man, I like grew up going there. Like I need one of these." Yeah,
really cool.
Awesome. Yeah, especially around here where like it kind of evolved. Like the local shop where it was like G-Spot and then Rain opens. Now it's like and then Rain closed. Now it's Dogwood. So it's like I have a G-Spot board, I have a Rain board, and I have a Dogwood board all in the collection because it's just going to keep evolving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I didn't even think like shop boards. Like that's pretty cool. It is never ending. Like,
yeah, I was hoarding t-shirts for the longest time. And I finally like a couple years ago, just had to like let it all go. I cut it down to like 1 bin and everything else just got donated because I just couldn't deal with it anymore.
Yeah, I can see like, not that the boards aren't space consuming, but having a ton of t-shirts.
Yeah, building that rack was definitely the best thing I could have done because it helped me organize it. I don't have like a shitload of boxes sitting around now.
Mm-hmm. See, it's all the things you don't think of, like where you're storing them and, a lot to it.
But yeah, make sure you keep them where it's not too much heat, too cold, not moist, so the boards don't warp. I definitely have some shit that's warped that I'm pretty bummed when I hang it on the wall. And it's, nose is over here and the tail's down there. No, this is like some deep nerd shit that I think we can have some fun with in the comments. I think people dig this one.
Yeah, I'm curious though, like to see what people leave or what people have to say, and definitely, I like you said before though, just leave whatever, anything board related in. I'm sure we'll find somebody with the world's largest Flameboy Wet Willy collection.
They're out there.
Leave it in the comments. Cool. Until next time, we're gonna head out, but we'll be back eventually, right?
Yeah, we'll be back soon.
But yo, you gotta break out and I gotta break out. World for life.